Hello students, welcome to exercise number 10 for Autodesk Inventor tutorials. On screen you see exercise 10 with all of its dimensions. The most important part of this lesson is going to be learning how to create this section view AA right here. You'll notice that the A and the A, they're not on the same horizontal plane like one of the last video lessons where you learned how to make a section view. It's actually going like halfway through the part, then downwards, and then finishing out past the part. So imagine using a laser cutting machine to cut through this part, or even a saw. You would cut through this line, go down, and then cut through this line. That will produce section AA, which you see here. So we're going to 3D model this part, and then the most important skill that you're going to learn in this video lesson is how to create that special section view where it's not one single cut, it's actually one single cut, but with it's making a turn here. So pay close attention to that section. If you think you can 3D this model, if you think you can 3D model this part without watching my instructions, please feel free to do so. I encourage you to try to do that on your own, just so that you can test your own skills. So I'm going to 3D model this now. You can watch or skip ahead. So here is just me practicing. I'm going to go ahead and start a new part to remake this model. And I need to make sure that I'm on millimeters for the units. Apply, close, side with tools, document settings, units, length. Change that to millimeter. In the 3D model section or tab, click Start a 2D sketch, and I'm clicking on the XY plane. You'll notice that there's a lot of circles in this part, so I start with making all of the outside circles. So I'll start with this big one right here, this radius of 30. So I'm going to click on circle, click on the origin, and right now my circle tool is set to diameter, so I'm going to right click, change that to radius, and it says R30, so I'm going to type 30. And that should be, to double check, if it's 60 for the diameter, then that's correct. So I just tap escape to get out of that. And then I'll put a circle here and a circle here, and I'll dimension those after the fact. So this circle on this side has a diameter of 30. So click dimension. Click on the circle. It's already set to diameter. If it's not, right click, change the dimension type to diameter. And what did it say? It's 30. So 30, enter. And then the radius on this corner right here is 15. So click on the circle, right click, change the dimension type to radius. Type in 15 and enter. This outside circle here is 85 millimeters away from the center of the circle here, so I can actually type that in the dimensions. So I'm going to click on the center of the circle and the center of this circle and come downwards, and then that's 85. And then the center of the circle from the center of this circle is 40 millimeters away. So click dimension, click on the circle, click on this circle, and go right. And that was 40. So now those two are dimensioned accordingly. And let's dimension this R15. The R15 it's also 40 millimeters above the center here. So click on the centers, go to the left, type 40. And it is how far away? So the center of this circle is 50 plus 40 away from the center of this circle, which is 90. So I'm going to click the centers and type 90, enter. And now we have these circles fully dimensioned. What we do next is we're going to create these straight lines and this circle, and we're going to tangent pretty much everything. We're going to use the tangent function here. So I'm going to click on line, just above both circles, I just drew a straight line. To draw a straight line, if you need a refresher, you click, right click, OK, or you could even click, click and then tap escape on the keyboard. Let me click undo because I don't need all those lines. I just need this one long line. So that long line should be like past the centers of both of these circles. And now I need to snap that onto those circles using tangent. So click tangent, click the line, click this circle, press escape. Click tangent, click this line, click this circle. It should already be tangent to it, so you'll get this prompt. Cancel out of that, that's fine. Then click trim or press X and trim those two lines there. Tap escape. Now again, the line tool, I'm going to, this time, I'm not going to draw a vertical line or horizontal line. I'm going to draw an angled line. And I'm going to press escape because that's a little easier for me. And then I'll use the tangent command or the tangent constraint to tangent against this circle, tangent against this circle. You'll see it change its angle. I'll click trim the excess here. And now we have this outside part complete. Let's make this R50 right here. Now there is a little section here that kind of looks a little weird, but we're gonna draw it the way we see it and leave it. So I'm gonna make a giant circle that has a radius of 50. And then I'm gonna tangent this circle to this circle and the big circle to this circle. And then I'll use the trim command to trim the excess outside here. Now I could leave it and finish and extrude all the little pieces, but that gets confusing really quick. So I'm going to use the trim command and trim out all of the lines that are on the inside. So I know for sure that I only should have one surface to extrude. So I click finish sketch. Oh, I click the little home cube. Extrude. It should automatically do that. If it doesn't, click on the surface. It'll let you extrude it. And the thickness, we see it in the section view. That part right there is 15 millimeters thick. So in distance A, type 1.5, click OK. And there we have our part. If you are curious about how I get it to move around like this, so using your mouse, you need to use a mouse in order to do this skill here. I'm holding down Shift on the keyboard, and then I'm also holding down the mouse wheel, and it lets me move it around when I move the mouse around. Okay, clicking on home. Now, I could have drawn the circles in that sketch so that when I extruded it, it would have already made the holes automatically. So if you did it this way, and you want to do it the way I just suggested, all you have to do is click on the plus extrusion here, and for your sketch, right-click, edit sketch, and we can add those holes. So this one has a diameter of 15. So click circle, click on the center of that circle, right-click, I need to change the diameter, make it 15, press enter, and then click on the rectangle drop-down menu, click on slot, and then from the center of this slot, or circle, I click, and then click again. Oh, I messed up. I'm going to press escape. Let's try that again. Slot. Click. I'm going to keep it horizontal. And what I need to do is dimension it now. So that is 12. So I'm going to dimension between here and here to make it 12. And then the distance between the centers is 40. So you click on the ends, make that 40, click OK. And then when I finish sketch, the holes didn't pop up. Let me edit the features. So right click, edit feature. I want to, how do I fix this? Oh, okay, so in profiles I clicked the little X and it took it away, and now I can just click on that surface right there. Haha. Click OK. Man, there's so many little skills that I forget how to do. Oh, I could have drawn this hole here too. Let me do that. So right click sketch 1, edit sketch. That hole has a diameter of 20. Okay, so I'm gonna make that 20 for the diameter, 0, and then click. Did I mess this up? No. Click OK, or finish sketch. Alright, so again, the hole didn't appear, but if I right click extrusion 1 and edit the feature, I can click the X on clear selections, and then click on that surface and click OK, and boom. One sketch, one extrusion makes this whole part almost, except for this little section here. What we do next then is we right click on that surface, new sketch. I'm going to click project geometry of this circle, click circle, click the center. The diameter is 40, so I'm going to type 40, enter. Just double check with my dimension, that should say 40 for the diameter. Finish sketch, and it's going up 20. This section view helps out a lot. Extrude, click on that surface, type 20 for the millimeter distance and distance A, and click OK. Now the part is complete. Awesome. So it only took 2 sketches to make this part, and only 2 extrusions. There's so many ways to make 3D models. This is just one of the many ways to make this model. You could have a bunch of sketches here. A sketch for each hole, a sketch for the slot, a sketch just for this hole. You could have done it a bunch of ways. You could have drawn, like an L shape with an angle and put a fillet on here. There's a bunch of ways that you could have done this. The way I just did it is the way I would have done it anyway, because this is how my brain works. So I also think, in my professional engineering opinion, it's probably easier to follow the way I did it. But I could be wrong. Maybe the way you figure out how to do it is easier for you. So as long as you have the correct dimensions and your technical drawing looks like what I'm about to show you at the end, you're good. You're doing a great job if you get it that far. Okay? So my way is not the best way, it's just my way, and my way to me is the best way for me. So that's something I hope that you get out of engineering and learning about problem solving. So your next step is to save this. So I'm going to File, Save As, and this is exercise 10. So it's exercise 10. I'm going to put crude. I'm going to start saving these with my name on it. Save. So at the top, you should see the name change. Okay. Now, at this point, you should have your own custom template. So click on the little home button, and you should see your own blank custom template. So it should say custom template.dwg. That's the file name. So I want you to open that. And before you even, oh, this is not the right one. Let me close that. I think I named mine Daft Punk. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so there's a few things you need to do before you even get started on adding your parts here. Because otherwise, if you save over this, you're going to lose it. So the first step, once you have that open, go to File, Save As, and change the name of the template. So this is going to have exercise 10 on it. If you click on whatever file that just popped up and you leave that .ipt there, that's bad. You don't want that. You want it to be a blank, like a blank file name right here with just exercise 10 and your name, and the type should be inventor drawing file.dwg. I'm going to click Save. And now I can go and insert the appropriate views. So that just took a hot second to save. It's still being a little slow. Okay, hold on a moment. Okay, that took a few seconds for it to save and do whatever other computing power it needed to do. Now, my next step is to put the base in. So I'm going to click Base, and you should see a drawing view menu pop up. Now, typically in the past, the last part that you worked on would automatically just pop up here. That no longer happens when you are using your custom template. Not sure exactly why that reason is, but doesn't matter, because we're going to click on this little button right here, open an existing file. I'm going to click on that, and I should be able to find exercise 10, the one I just worked on. Click on date modified. Okay, so if I click on date modified, it should put the very last thing I worked on at the top. So there it is. I'm going to click it, gives me a little preview. Click on open, and so this view right here, if that's not your view, move the little arrow buttons on the view cube until this view pops up. And make sure you click on scale 1 to 1. And this is it. You're not gonna bring down the other views at all. Okay? You're gonna leave it like that. And you're gonna click OK. Because remember, I said early on in the beginning of the lesson, the most important thing in this video lesson is learning how to make a section view with that special cut. But we'll add the isometric view here now. So I'm going to click base. Again, select exercise 10, click open, and this time click on the little home button of the view cube to change it to isometric. Put it in the top right, leave it on half scale, click OK. And I actually want it shaded, so I'm going to double click that, click on the shaded button, and click OK. Let's not forget to go to Tools, Document Settings, and make sure our active standard is set to ANSI MM before we start putting down dimensions. Apply, close. And we're going to click on Annotate tab. We're going to add dimensions to this view here first before we add our section view. Now, I want your part to be somewhere between these two arrows, just like you see on mine. And the isometric view should be, in this quadrant, like as close as possible between the 1 and B, like that. And we want that out of the way. And then we need enough space for all of our dimensions for this part here. And then also for the section view, because it's going to fill up a lot of space. So, first things first, the very first thing you should do whenever you have circles or holes in your drawing, take care of those first, because it helps you dimension other parts of your drawing. So click on the center mark, and for any type of holes that are centered with themselves, you would click on the most outside part, the most outside circle. So for example, if I click here, it gives me a nice little center mark for that middle one, but that's not really correct. So click on center mark, click on the outside one, so you get the correct center mark style. And what I could do is then click here just to get that finished center mark. Now that, to me right here, is perfect. And then click on this angle, and then click on the little hole there. So that's what I like to do for that. Excuse me, sorry. Now, these center marks are okay. This one's really bad right here. We need to fix that. So I'm tapping escape. Move your mouse on top of a center mark and right click, edit center mark style. Give the menu a moment to open up. And right here, we're going to change these styles. So A, I'm going to make that 2, B, let's make B 1.5. The overshoot, let's make that 4, and D, let's make that 2.5. And click save and close. And now that looks a lot cleaner, a little nicer. And I think that functions properly. So if we look at our original drawing here, we do have a center mark or center line going through the middle of the slot. So let's add that. We can actually create our own center lines right here. So if you click that, click on let's zoom in here. Click on this center and then this center, and then you have a center mark that works. Oh, I forgot. This one, you have to actually click it 3 times. So I'm going to click out here. Okay, and then I'm tapping escape. And that should be fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and add all of these. Well, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do the section view mark. Okay, so here we are. We're at the most important part of this video lesson, 20 minutes into the lesson. So I'm going to do my best to explain this in a not as complicated manner as I possibly can. Okay, so go back and click on Place a View, the Place Views tab. So in the Place Views tab, we have Projected View, Auxiliary, Section, Detail. Like, detail's really cool. We'll learn that eventually. Section View. We learned how to do this in a previous lesson. For this particular lesson, our section view is taking a turn. So this is crucial. So click on Section View. Pay attention to this part. Don't do anything. Just watch before you even try it. Okay, so I clicked on Section View. Now, the outline of this view is being highlighted whenever I move over it, so I'm going to click that. Your mouse will turn into a little plus sign. What you need to do is move your mouse over the center of the circle here. Okay, don't click yet, and let your mouse, like, move your mouse to the right and let it find, see how it's like producing that little dotted line automatically? I didn't even click yet, and you shouldn't have clicked yet either. So let it do that. Let it find where it's predicting you want to click. Okay, and then when you're outside here, you click one time, then you move your mouse left. Try to stay as straight as possible. Okay, and you want to go left to right about here. Okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to click and go straight down, perpendicular, straight down. Okay, and then we're going to try and find, see how it's like snapping to the center of the circle line right here? That's what we want. We want exactly that to happen. And then click, and then go left, and then make sure it's nice and straight, and then click. Okay, now, so you have those three turns, that right? Now, once you're over here, you're going to right click and click continue. A menu is going to pop up. It might distract you a little bit. When you're moving your mouse over here, you see what's happening now? Let me zoom out. Your section view is being created. Okay, you want to come down here and you want to click one time, and there's your section AA view. Should look exactly like that. Okay, if this line, look, if this line is over, let me click this. Over here, look what happens to the section view. That's not good. If it's over here, look what happens. That's not good at all. I can grab that little green dot and move it. So it needs to be right here between the hole and this outside edge. Okay, nowhere else. If it's in here or out here, you're going to get a super 0 on this. You're going to get -0 points on this. Because this is the most important thing I want you to learn in this lesson. So your section view should look literally exactly like this. Okay, because that's what we have here in our example. Okay. If you need to see that again, replay the video. Go back and replay what I just did. All right, let's begin dimensioning this. So click on Annotate, click on Dimension, and we're going to start with the section view. So I'm going to click on this outside line. Let that do that. Okay, before I even move on, this is wrong. Your numbers should be horizontal. So I'm going to right click, well, let me press escape a bunch of times. Right click on the dimension, and I'm going to edit dimension style. Let the menu pop up, and click on text. I'm going to click on the little edit text style button, make it Technic, change the text height to 2.54. And then save and close, and then again right click, edit dimension style, let that load up, and text. I want the linear direction on this button right here to be horizontal, and click save and close. So right off the bat, we're fixing that. We're also going to, let me see, how precise is it? Everything is okay. So we're going to change the precision so it just says 15 instead of 15.00. So again, right click, edit dimension style. I think my video might be cutting off. So right click, edit dimension style. There you go. Sorry about that. That's where you go though. Text, where's units? All right, so in units, I want the precision just to be at 0. Save and close. Now it should just be 15. There we go. Now, if you take care of that early, you don't have to think about it anymore. So click on dimension. Okay, so I'm noticing something. I need to click on this corner and this corner to get that 20 to be correct, because the dimension extension line should not be touching. And you want these to be vertical together. What else do we have? We have that diameter 40, diameter 20. So let's see if that'll automatically give us, yep, there it is. Now, the section view is too close to this view. I'm tapping escape a bunch of times. I want to move section AA over here, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Okay. Now click dimension, and then I'm going to click this corner and this corner. And now we've noticed that the diameter symbol is missing from this 40. So what you need to do, I'm going to tap escape. I'm going to move my mouse over the 40, and I'm going to double click. So click, click. And you get a menu that pops up. I want to insert the diameter symbol, so I clicked on that button, and I'm going to click OK. And it's after the 40. That's wrong. So I'm going to double click again. I'm going to delete the diameter button there, and I'm going to put my cursor in front of these symbols and then click that again. So it creates the diameter symbol there. Click OK, and now that's correct. I want that to snap into its right spot, just like that. And making sure that they're aligned a little bit better. Okay, so I want this technical drawing is going to be the most perfect one you've done so far. We need a center mark, center line going down this hole. So to do that, I'm going to use the center line bisector. So I'll click on that, click on this line, and then this line, and it'll create that center line for us. Let's see. And then we need to identify this 85 and 40. Now you'll notice that there's center marks for the centers of the slot. How would we make those? It's actually very simple. You click on the center mark line here, and let me zoom in. And what you'll see is there should be a little highlighted line right here. What you want to do is on the end of the line, click, and then click, and it'll create the center line for that hole there. And then click again. Let me do that for this side right here. That's just the radius of the hole here, the slot. So the diameter is 12, which means between here and here should be 6. So if you wanted to actually double check that, you click on dimension, and then click on this little red line, and you'll see that that's 6. So that's what that is. Now I'm noticing that this center mark is kind of ugly, so I'm gonna update this one. I'm gonna update these and see if I can make them look a little better. I'm gonna right click, enter center mark style. Let that load. And why is it so? Maybe D is too long. Or maybe it's not long enough. Make it 3. Save and close. No, still don't like it. Right click, enter center mark style. Overshoot 4. Maybe the overshoot's too big. Make that 3. Make this 4. Save and close. Yeah, I still don't like that. Right click. Okay. 2, 1, 3, 4. Oh shoot, maybe this should did. Oops. I typed something. Maybe this should also be 3. Save and close. Yeah, I'm still not liking that. Why is that? Why do you make the overshoot long, like really long? Let's make that 5. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit. Okay, I guess we're just gonna leave it. This one looks great now. Now that's the center mark. Or center line. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Moving on. So 85 and 40. So let's add those dimensions. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here and down. Just like that. This should go up a little bit. I don't really like how close it is to the bottom here, but that's why we created that custom text box or custom title block so that we have all this room. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any of this room to play with this section view. All right, now the rest should be pretty straightforward with adding these dimensions. Notice that I moved the section line A closer to the part. Yeah, that looks cleaner now. That means I can move this a little further away from the side. I like to keep my dimensions as like everything should be as close to the center or between the parts as much as possible. That's just a good rule of thumb. Okay, this is too close to each other, so let me move that. There we go. I know it's up top here, but I'm going to leave it inside the part. This is technically wrong, but I think it looks a little cleaner. Oops. Okay, so click. Okay, I had to click to the center mark. See, that's why I needed that there. Center marks really help. And then this one right here. I changed that to diameter because if I left it on radius, you get this like really long awkward line, and sometimes that happens. I don't like that, so I'm gonna leave it on diameter, and I'm gonna move the number to the right there like that. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. Alright, so there it is. Exercise 10. Whoa, wow. This was a long video lesson. I hope you paid attention very closely to all of that. This is definitely a skill-heavy lesson for section views and making sure your drawing looks legitimate and as professional as possible. Your next step is to update your iProperties. So File, iProperties. In the Project menu, I'm going to turn that creation date off and Apply. Summary. Your author is going to be your name. The title is EX10. Apply, close. And let me see if I can get that date working. So go back to iProperties. Okay, so now creation date is updated with the date. You can actually drop down the menu and change the date. Apply and close. And then I already saved it earlier, so all I have to do is click the save button and it'll save the new drawing. It's saving right now. It's taking a hot second. And then I will go to File, Export as a PDF so that I can send it to Mr. Cruz, me, for grading. I hope that wasn't too difficult. You have this full video lesson to pause and play and review and make sure that you get this technical drawing done correctly.